I'm originally from Star City, Arkansas. It's a little small town in Arkansas. There were either white kids or black kids. There were not a lot of brown kids, there. So one of the obstacles I had was being the only Filipino kid there. So you could imagine that'd be different, but maybe that has something to do with the reason I fight now too, though. So, yeah. I think life is about finding what you got and using it, right? And it wasn't so much my athletic ability that got me here, that it was my will and desire to win, and just my relentlessness. I guess I just have a why, I have a why, like my why is very huge. Being my son, like I remind myself going back to a lot of those rounds, hey, he's watching, he's watching, so I don't want to let him down, and that's something strong. It's just sacrifice, it's sacrifice for what you want, and I wanted to make a life for my son, and that's what we made happen. But
what kind of kid is he?
Oh man, he's the best, dude. He's the best, But he's a smart kid. He's in GT at school, plays baseball, plays piano as well. Man, he's just a good kid. He loves to fish. That's something me and him both have in common. Well with his words, very sociable kid, man. He's a great kid. It's tough with Collar's mom not being in the picture. I know my son has someone that he can count on, that's me, and I'm out there setting a good example for him. But man, is it tough, You go train and teach private lessons and teach class, then go pick him up from school and give him all your attention, and then the next morning wake up, get him up. There were moments me and my son have shared along the way that made every bit of it worth it. I never met my father, I never met him. I told myself when I did have a son that it was very important for me to be there, for him to never ask the questions I asked, like, where's my dad? Why isn't my dad here? My son was never going to ask that. So I knew I was going to step up. I just didn't know how, and I was scared, but let's be honest, man, I was a kid raising a kid.
Hop, 242. Hop, one more. Hop, good, 3. Hey.
Well, people ask me all the time, do you want your son to be a fighter? And my first answer is no. Like anybody I love or anybody that I care about, I would not want them to fight, just purely because of the damage you take both physically and mentally. I've broken my hand 3 times. I've tore my knee. I've broken my orbital bone, and that's just to name a few. And this is a very grueling sport. I just want him to find his thing, and whatever his thing is, I'm going to support it, and I'm going to make sure that his efforts there, he does his best in whatever he does, and that whatever he does, I'm going to be there behind him. So many lessons I've learned in this gym, in that ring, have applied to my life, and life is a fight. Like if you think that this life is fair and that things are easy, you're confused. I finally got my UFC contract. I've gotten the big win. Wasn't much longer than that, I get a friend request from my dad on Facebook, and he's reaching out, wanting to meet. And I'm like, man, where were you at the last 20, 30 years of my life, man? So it's funny how that works. I tell you what, he's got to be thinking, man, I wish I had a part of his life. I wish I'd have been there, because I got a good story, and he's got to be thinking he missed out, for sure. I'm nowhere near perfect, but I'm here, I'm here, and I'm doing my best, and I've made mistakes, but I've learned from those mistakes, so I'm not continuing to make the same mistakes, and man, I'm doing my best, man. That's all you can do, right?